It's December, and Chelsea are just 2 points off top of the table Liverpool. But how have they done it under Enzo Maresca is really the question that we have to ask. Chasing Liverpool for a title last season, they were a mess under Mauricio Pochettino, finishing sixth place with just 63 points. So what's changed? How has Enzo Maresca turned this team into genuine title contenders? We got four keys we're going to break down in Chelsea's transformation under Enzo Maresca, and also a little bit of what's different from last season to this season, and kind of how Chelsea as a football club has evolved. Consistency is king, and it goes for playing minutes, it goes for playing time, it goes for results, so on and so forth. And for Chelsea this season, it has become a game changer. Last season under Pochettino, Chelsea cycled through players like a revolving door. We saw how many players came in, how many different lineups Pochettino was forced to play with. By the end of the campaign, 25 players on that roster had 10 or more appearances. That includes Armando Broja, who's now at Everton, Cassetti, who's I believe not even made an appearance this season, and Ian Maatsen, another player who's no longer at the club, who's struggled to find a rhythm and a role while he was at Chelsea, and really didn't make impacts on the pitch when he was given the opportunities. Fast forward to this season, and Maresca has fully flipped the script. Only 13 players have 10 or more appearances in 16 Premier League matches so far. The result, you see a cohesive, well-drilled team that the chemistry is just night and day compared to last season. Look at Nicholas Jackson and Cole Palmer, for example. They have just blossomed into a fantastic relationship, a 10 and a striker. This is, how much I hate to say it, this is Chelsea's new Lampard Drogba. It is. Cole Palmer and Nicholas Jackson. Jackson, I'm not saying either of them are as good as the previous stars of Chelsea. Let's not get that twisted, but it is the similar relationship that we're seeing in this team. While take a look at the wing, and that's really where we're seeing a lot of the rotation happening. You've got Neto, you've got Sancho, you've got Madueke, lots of players that can get minutes in that team right now, and the wings are really providing this balance of rotation and energy and so on and so forth. But consistency isn't just about who's playing; it's about how they're being integrated as well. Now, unlike many managers, Maresca isn't focusing on his brand new signings and putting them into the lineup. He doesn't feel like he needs to, and it's really paying off for him. Chelsea's transfer strategy has been refreshingly different, I'd say. While big names have joined the club, only two, Neto and Sancho, have actually made 10 or more appearances. They're part of that 13 players we talked about earlier. Maresca has prioritized building on the core of the squad. The players that really made an impact last season, he's building on that. And the patience has paid off at Chelsea. A really poor season. Rather than disrupting the team, they want to try to really gel with this core group of players, a team that plays like a unit, not just a bunch of collective individuals, which is what they were last season. I think we can all agree that that is what Chelsea were last season, is a team full of individuals. And now they actually look like a cohesive unit, and a team that plays a unit, it leads to results, and we're seeing that. We see it with a lot of these top clubs, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool. When these teams work as units a lot more, you see the results show for it. And you see a lot of players who try to play as an individual really don't shine in these squads and really don't make the impact that you would expect when they come in. Now, speaking of systems and unity and the unit itself, we have to talk about Maresca's tactical flexibility as another key piece to the puzzle. Now, I wrote this script, let's be clear, before the match on, Thursday, their Conference League matchup. So they may have even added another formation to their bag of tricks in the Conference League that they've displayed so far. During his time at Chelsea in the 1 year, Pochettino stuck to just four formations, primarily the 4-2-3-1, which we're again seeing is the primary choice of Maresca in the Premier League, which is no surprise. Most teams are currently running a 4-2-3-1, so I'm not really shocked by that. However, one of his standout traits has been his ability to adapt. As I mentioned, 4-2-3-1 primarily, but across all competitions, so that's EFL Cup and Conference League included, the Blues have deployed 7 or 8 different formations in all competitions. The adaptability was on full display in their comeback win against Spurs after being outplayed tactically and physically and just all over the pitch in the first half against Spurs. Maresca made a bold move. He subbed on Malo Gusto at right back and shifted Caicedo from right back to the midfield and brought off a very well performing Lavia. Lavia played very well in that first half for Chelsea. In fact, Caicedo was really where the glaring issues were. So it was really surprising to me when I was watching that game and I saw Maresca keep Caicedo on despite a very poor first half. But he did take off Lavia and it worked out. Chelsea ended up winning the match. The tactical tweak completely flipped the match. I think we can all agree Chelsea ended up going on to win. They were stabilized defensively, and it gave them control of the match, control that really we saw make a difference as they went on to win. But this transformation isn't just about tactics. It's not just about gelling players that are already there. It's about the squad Maresca inherited and how he has reshaped it himself. Now, we saw with Maresca during preseason, he knew the players he wanted to keep, and anyone else, he didn't allow them to train. He said, nope, go do your own thing. He did that with Raheem Sterling. Now he's on loan at Arsenal, where he's not playing anyways, so it really doesn't matter. Chelsea are still paying him a lot of money to sit on Arsenal's bench instead of sitting at home. So it doesn't make a ton of difference for them, but Maresca didn't just inherit a mess. He cleaned it up with some of the best sales we've seen in years for that squad. They were overloaded with players who don't fit and weren't ready. This summer, Maresca and the board made moves that were very controversial at first. Outwent Ian Maatsen for $44.5 million. Conor Gallagher, the captain of Chelsea last season, was gone for $42 million. Raheem Sterling joined Arsenal on loan. Broja on loan. Ogochukwu on loan. And they even sold. We even watched Trevor Chalobah go to Fulham. For example, I believe it was Fulham or Crystal Palace he went to. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. Trevor Chalobah has moved on though. These moves not only brought in significant revenue, but it also cleared a path for a leaner, much more focused squad and a team that wasn't feeling we didn't have players sharing lockers. Like I felt like that was going to be something that happened at Chelsea this season is we were going to see players sharing lockers because there were so many players in the squad. So players are able to be a little more comfortable and you want players to feel challenged. You want them to feel competitive for their position in the team, but Maresca's done a great job of trimming off some of the fat, if you will, of this team and really giving a lean, strong squad for them. But with a more cohesive squad, tactical flexibility, and clear vision, Maresca has Chelsea flying high. We've seen it. I mean, they're second in the table. And it hurts me to say that as an Arsenal fan. It's been a fantastic turnaround for them. Obviously, that rebuild was part of it began under Pochettino. A lot of those players began under Pochettino. And Pochettino's a good coach, but maybe a manager that wasn't going to be able to take Chelsea to that next level, and they believe that Maresca was the man, so that's why they went and hired him. It's still early days, so let's be fair. Chelsea still have a lot to prove in the second half of this season. They look like they could be nailed on to go win the Conference League. They're clear favorites, in my opinion. But from consistent lineups to smart sales and tactical moves that have just set him apart, Maresca is building something special at Stamford Bridge. Can they maintain their form and challenge Liverpool for the title? Will Arsenal catch them? Will City catch them? I'm not quite sure, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and for more deep dives into tactics, sales. We're going to talk more transfer stuff as we get closer to the January transfer window. And hit that like button if you're impressed with Chelsea's turnaround, and subscribe to stay tuned for the latest Premier League news. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.